source for the esoteric, irrelevant, and Twinkies that ruin our everyday lives. I'm your host, Mitch Miller, and boy oh boy, wowie zowie guys, thank you so much. I like to thank you every single week, each and every one of you, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Every time that I get to tell a podcast guest how well their episode is doing and seeing the smile on their face, it just brings a bunch of joy into my heart. Thank you guys for checking out Nathan's episode. Nathan's episode has been a hit with a lot of you. I'm so happy to see that you guys enjoyed it. It was a fun episode. Nathan brought his humor, his dry wit on board, and I had a joyous time talking to this guy. He's a sweet man. I'm pretty sure we're going to have him on again in the near future. So everybody, if you really enjoyed Nathan, I'm sure him and I can find and schedule a time where we can sit down and talk again about more crazy and maybe nefarious stuff this time. Ooh, yeah, let's talk about some nefarious stuff, Nathan. Anyway, guys, thank you once again for making Nathan's episode such a great hit. Also, speaking of episodes, if you haven't yet, let's also check out last week's episode as I detail a very, very, very painful experience in my life. One that I had shared with all of you. One that captures the imagination and just completely wrings it dry. I'm talking about my very, very cheap coupon date. The kind of sort of not coupon-ish date that I had back in my teenage years. This was truly a scarring experience, and I got the scars to prove it, folks. I mean, I'm not going to take my shirt off in front of you, but who's to say I don't already have it off? But the thing is, things like this happen in a person's life. They happen to all of us. And not until we get to share about these experiences do we finally just get to let them go. This was a great example of me just getting to let go of all this embarrassment, anxiety, and stress that I had built up on the situation over the years. And right now, it doesn't seem that big of a deal. Until probably I go see my therapist 2 months from now complaining, damn, I really shouldn't have said that to an audience of hundreds of people. But either way, if you haven't yet, go listen to it. It's a good one. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you scratch your head. It'll probably make you not turn off the podcast this week. Speaking of high school days, speaking of days where I could sit down and did not see my belly in front of me, if you've been listening to this podcast for the past 3 months, you may have heard me earlier on in a previous podcast episode talk about needing to go lose weight and starting on a diet. Well, I'm here to tell you folks that never happened. That was probably in the second or third episode I did, in one of the introductions where I was talking about actually going out, starting to exercise, and starting to eat right. And that idea went down the tubes faster than America currently is going down the tubes as we speak. So, to put things in perspective, folks, right now I'm currently sitting at about 95 kilograms. For all you guys in America, that's about 205 pounds, give or take. And it's just not a happy place to be right now. Over the past 5 to 6 years, I've gone through major weight gain and major weight loss. And to see myself on the uptick in this situation kind of makes me sad. When I had first come to Costa Rica, I weighed a good 245 pounds. Over the next 2 years, I lost about 60 pounds just by exercising, eating right, and I saw a lot of great benefits in my physical state and mental state from losing all that weight. I didn't feel slow and groggy anymore. I was filled with energy. I wanted to show off my body. I didn't feel uncomfortable taking my shirt off in the pool anymore. I was able to go on hikes, and if I needed to take my shirt off because I was hot, I didn't subconsciously think, oh, everybody's going to be looking at the fat guy now. It felt really good to have lost all that weight. Now, it seems like I've gained a good 20 pounds back. Being in Vietnam, it's very hard to exercise here. You have to, just like the States, pick yourself up and go somewhere to exercise. You cannot just go outside and walk on the street. There are cars, motorcycles flying everywhere. There is no safe sidewalk. The heat most days is unbearable. You can't be out under the sun, otherwise you're going to get dehydrated so fast. Vietnam is just not a place for pedestrian exercisers. pedestrian walkers for that matter. If you want to go exercise somewhere, you either have to go to a gym or you have to go to a park. Gyms here cost a lot of money. Gyms are sometimes 1 to 2 million for 3 months, which doesn't sound like a lot. 2 million is about $100 for 3 months. That's not too bad. But some of them even soar upwards of 3 to 4 to 5 million for a set amount of months. It adds up over time, folks. And for someone like me who is not highly motivated to go to the gym every day or 3 times a day or 4 times a day, it just does not seem cost effective when it comes down to it. However, I do see I need to make a change. My weight is starting to get out of control. I'm starting to see more stomach than I am my legs, to put it in perspective. Not as bad as you're thinking, but when you can see a storm coming in the distance, you don't know how bad it's going to be, but from the onset, it doesn't look that great. That's how my stomach looks right now. I'm trying to motivate myself as we speak to change my eating habits. But like many times over the years, I've had my hang-ups. I have a big addiction to sugar, not so much sweets, but anything that has sugar in it, like soft drinks, tea, sometimes coffee. If it has sugar in it, I want it in my mouth. I want to drink it. I'm not too bad with ice cream and cakes. For whatever reason, those don't appeal to me as bad. But folks, I love my sweet, sugary drinks. I love energy drinks. I used to be addicted to energy drinks to a bad extent. That made me gain all my weight the first time around in the first place. I have trouble with moderation. I like beer. I like energy drinks. I like anything that has a good flavor or taste to it. Sometimes it's just hard to drink water, which I need to be drinking more of. I don't want to sound like an old timer, but when I was in high school, when I was playing soccer, at my peak weight, I was about 142 pounds. I was skinny. I was in shape. I could do 7 miles in 49 minutes. I could do 3 miles in 21 minutes. I was in very good shape, the best shape of my life. Of course, back then, too, I had a super high metabolism. I could eat anything I wanted. I wouldn't gain a pound. But my mindset is still that in the sense of, I can eat and drink anything I want and not gain weight. But the reality that comes crashing down weeks later is, hey, I gained some weight from eating shit food, and a lot of it, for the past several weeks. Today, however, I'm taking a stand. I'm going to force myself, and listen to how I use the word force. I'm going to force myself to eat better, to drink better, to watch what I'm eating, to watch what I'm drinking. I'm going to try and choose the healthy alternative from now on. I'm going to keep you guys updated on my weight here. I haven't weighed myself in a couple months. I don't know what my current weight is, but I'm guessing it hasn't fluctuated much since the last time I weighed myself. I look about the same. Maybe I've gained an extra pound or two, an extra kilo or so. However, I feel like it's time to lose the stomach. It's time to get on this horse. It's time to look at myself in the mirror, how I see myself in the mind, and see my body physically shine back at me and resemble my mind's image of myself, and not my body showing me the ugly, terrible truth of how much crap that I eat every day. I'd like you guys to come on this journey with me. Cheer me on, please. Please, I ask you guys, come on this journey with me. Motivate me. Keep me going. If you see something sugary in my hand, whack it out of my hand. I need you guys as backup, because whenever I was losing weight, when I was playing soccer in high school, when I was walking by myself in Costa Rica, I always did kind of have a team behind me, helping me. And I always felt like that was the main thing driving me day to day, is having a support system behind me. And I ask the same of you guys. So please, I invite you, come on this journey with me and help kick my butt into shape. Anyway, folks, that's the end of today's episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you really enjoyed it. Hope you liked listening to me rant and rave about how fat I'm getting. Folks, If you are a new listener, please go back and listen to some of the old episodes. I think you're going to enjoy them. I have on different guests every couple weeks. We talk about a variety of topics. No two episodes are exactly the same. Everybody comes in with their opinions, different belief systems, and we just mash it all together, and we have a pretty good time with it. Folks, also don't forget we do have a Q&A episode coming up. Please submit your questions, folks. I know there are people out there that really want to ask questions but are too shy to send them in. Please send them in. We will read them on the program. If it's something that you don't want on the program, well, ask me in person. But who doesn't want their question read on air? I feel like that's one of the best parts of listening to a podcast. Submitting a question, hearing the host answer it, and you feel a personal connection with the host after that point. Guys, please send the questions in. Send them to podcast6pi@gmail.com. 1, 2, 3. Or send it to our Facebook page at 6PI Podcast. Either way, folks, we're looking forward to hear your questions and any crazy, kooky nonsense you want to include in your emails as well. But everybody, until next week, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the fun and time that you spend with your family over the next week. And until I see you again, stay tuned.